What's going on, guys? It's Noah here, CustomFPV. Some of you guys might even know me as Custom RC Mods, and today is more of a Custom RC Mods type video. We really come full circle because we're back out flying planes. This is the Alcoa Maryville City Landfill, home of the Blount County Model Aviators Club here in Eastern Tennessee. I've been getting to know this place a little bit better, joined this club recently. All the guys are so nice, but today I've got something a little bit different for you because we've got this new plane right here, new to me at least. This is an E-Flite Viper 6S 90mm fan, and I'm really excited to start flying this thing. I picked this thing up off of my buddy Evan, who you guys might know, Heads Up FPV. He's been very generous with this thing, and it actually has seen a little bit of damage since I've been around here. Actually not far from here, just about maybe quarter mile that way. It actually fail-safed and landed high in a tree, and so we had a little bit of a time getting that out. Ended up gluing it back together. You can see we got some epoxy right here, and there's some spars in there. Did a little bit of damage to the leading edge and different parts like this this intake component right here. But now this is my hands, I'm gonna be fixing it up a little bit. I have some plans to reshape some of the foam a little bit, maybe even spackle the leading edge, do what I need to do. Still kind of researching that, but I'm really excited. This is my first true jet. Again, 90mm fan on here, and yeah, I'm just kind of getting the hang of it here. It does have like retracts and flaps and all that stuff, and it goes really fast, uses up a lot of this entire runway here. So this is my first ever solo flight without like Evan or someone just to kind of show me the ropes, or at least make sure I'm doing everything right. So this is gonna be a true interesting experience. So the next thing I want to talk about here is my radio that I'm using for today, and this one's cool. It is actually Evan's radio. This is an IX12 in the special Quad Force 1 Heads Up FPV livery. Very cool. I actually do have a Spectrum radio on the way. I'm getting an NX8, which is cool. But for now, we're using Evan's radio, and the batteries we're using are the CNHL Black Series 6000 milliamp hour 6S packs, and I've got them sitting about an inch off the front of the battery compartment here, as you can see. And so yeah, that's pretty much everything for the setup here on the ground. I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing all ready to go. Of course, we need to retract the landing gear, get it all plugged in, actually bind it up to this radio, get things set up, make sure we're good to go, and then we'll be ready to fly. All right, there's 6 cells of battery. Initiated on the ESC, got our bind. Now we want to make sure that those retracts come out. Just like so. We're gonna go ahead and set this guy down. And now, gotta make sure my surfaces are all good. Looks like that's all good. We've got our flaps in here as well. Then I do have low and high rates right there. Want to make sure that I got my thrust. All right. All right, so this thing does have reverse thrust working, so want to make sure we don't hit that in flight. So this is forward thrust, and then I can flip the switch, and we got reverse thrust. Let's go ahead and start taxiing out to the runway here. Gonna go back behind our little stand. Gonna go ahead and give it some takeoff flaps. Go down the runway a bit. Got about a 4-minute flight time on this, and I did bring 2 batteries with me. That might be 2 separate videos. We're gonna see. Looks like we're ready to go. As ready as we're gonna be. I'm trying to figure out which way the wind's going. It seems like it's shifting. Now I think it's definitely at my back, but I'm actually gonna go ahead and taxi the length of the runway here. This plane is beautiful. Taxi the length of the runway real quick. And I think we're gonna take off from left to right. Got a slight, I'm kind of looking at the flag across the field there. All right, we are up, we are out of the gear. It's definitely a little bit bumpy up there, but I'm gonna get out of the flaps. Just trying to kind of get my bearings. Again, I haven't flown this thing in a little bit. You know, I've flown it a few times, but getting used to it. This thing is quite heavy, so it cuts through the wind nicely. You know, if this was any other foamy that I'm typically flying, it would be beating around in this wind. But man, this thing is a lot of fun. I've really been kind of finding my passions within flying, I guess, if you will say. And I really like things that go fast, and this would be one of those things. Be careful not to stall it, and this kind of stall turn Cuban 8. There's about 3/4 throttle pass. I'm gonna come back towards ourselves here and line up with the runway to do another one of those Cuban 8s. Man, this thing just gets you going with every pass. It's a really fun plane. It's a sport jet. Tracks super nicely, even in this wind that I'm feeling. I'm very impressed with it. Let's do another, guess what would be an upwind pass. All right, I'm gonna go easy on my battery here. Let's go ahead and pop in some half flaps first. We're gonna do a little slow pass with the flaps on. I'm bringing it down here. Power is basically off, about 1/4 throttle. That's what would, I guess, be downwind. You know, if we're talking what's more downwind than the other direction. I do want to kind of do a upwind full flaps pass, but I'm going to wait until I'm out of this turn to drop my full flaps. All right, we got our full flaps down. I guess the wind kind of died down, but we are more or less just gliding now with the full flaps going into the wind. Gonna keep some throttle on as I get into the turn here. Let's just try to keep it slow. Every time I fly a plane like this, especially, you know, this plane is new to me. I'm learning a little bit new, something new every single time I fly it. I didn't do a lot of flying with the flaps in my previous flights, so definitely trying to learn about that right now. It's about 1/4 throttle. It still tracks nicely. Let's get out of the flaps, get some speed. Yeah, this thing is extremely well behaved, even in this wind. And it looks like that might be my timer, so I don't want to burn this battery too hard, so we're going to go ahead and put half flaps down and pull my gear down. I want to make sure I got 3 down and locked. We have had some small issues with the gear on this plane. So I really hate to have any issues. It does look like I have 3 down and locked for the landing here. Big crosswind component, but I'm going to try to do as good as I can on this landing here for you guys as we're coming around here on short final. I've honestly never landed this plane from left to right, but either way, shouldn't matter. We have a reverse thrust, dropped a wing. I'm going to go around. Didn't quite have enough runway to stop that one, even with the reverse thrust, but I'm thankful that I didn't commit to the reverse thrust, because obviously it's hard to go around when you're in that reverse thrust mode. It is really weird. This is like pretty much a 90-degree crosswind right now, so we're kind of gonna have to deal with that. I might even drop my full flaps if I need to. I'm just gonna kind of take this approach nice and slow. Coming in. I'm not going to drop my flaps. Okay, that'll do. And we are down on the runway. There's full reverse thrust. Got a little sketchy there. Touchdown was clean, but I kind of started to drift off the other side of that other side of the runway. We're back into forward thrust now. No harm, no foul. Taxiing back down the runway after a successful flight. This crosswind has definitely made those landings interesting, but I'm glad we got her down. And wow, what a fun plan. You guys can't see it right now, but I've got a big grin on my face. I wanted to give another shout out to Evan for being so generous with this plane for me. All right, we are out here for flight number 2 with the E-Flite Viper 90mm. And the wind has shifted once again. It's really just at my back. I don't really think it makes much of a difference. There's not really a prevailing wind on either end of the runway. But I guess looking at the flag out there, we are gonna take off in the other direction now, even though it's like 5 minutes after I just landed, going the other way. But I'm gonna go ahead and make sure I've got my takeoff flaps set. All right, so I did go ahead and figure out how to reset the timer. This IX12 radio is a little bit new to me, but we got it all figured out. We got mid flaps on, and I think we're ready to go now with some proper winds coming down the runway here. A little bit bumpy, coming out of the gear and out of the flaps. Getting things ready to go. Let's do a nice little downwind pass, left to right. Back on the throttle there. If you can tell, the landfill today actually is open. Which is interesting. Sometimes they come here in the evenings and it is not open, but they are dumping trash right now, which is kind of cool. So if you hear all the construction equipment in the background, that would be why. But man, this Viper is just so well behaved. Not doing anything too wild and crazy with it yet. I really don't know all the tendencies of this airplane, so it's in my best interest just to have some fun, cruise around. I'm sure there's some stuff that Evan can teach me. Gonna do a little off-center Cuban 8. Nice little downwind pass there. Just checking my telemetry, getting a few little beeps. We do have battery voltage telemetry on here, and I do not want to be in a situation where I'm doing a dead stick landing with this airplane, obviously, because it needs a little bit of setup time to land. We're about 2 minutes into this flight, so we're probably going to do a few more passes around. I'm going to go ahead and get in some flaps here, because why not? See if it can't slow this puppy down. And the winds are, unlike the last video, like I said, are really prevailing now from the left of your screen to the right across this runway. So we will be coming in this nature. I am going to go ahead and extend my gear. We can kind of see it pop out here. Super cool, 3 gear down and locked. And in the interest of safety of the jet, because this battery may not be quite as charged, I am going to go ahead and shoot an approach here, see what happens. Who knows? It's bringing around. And we'll call this good. Oh, big bump. We got it. We got it. And since we're going upwind, we're not even gonna need to use reverse thrust. Could have probably flared it a little bit better there, but that works. And we are back on the ground. The Viper lives another 4 minutes. It survived the 4-minute flight to live another day. I'm interested to see what's up with this battery, because this one didn't fully get charged, but it was like at 4.15, so I don't really think it should be too bad, but it's hard to say. Oh yeah, it is pretty warm, much warmer than the last one, so I'm glad I did make the decision to land it. Yeah, yep, that was a good call. Had about 30 seconds left on the timer, so that's a 3-minute and 30-second flight. Not bad at all. And I do need to go ahead and retract the gear before I throw this in my car, so we will leave this battery plugged in and do just that. But that's gonna wrap it up for today's video, folks. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm really enjoying this plane so far. If you guys have any comments, questions, please go ahead and leave those down in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. Really excited to get back out in the field here and fly some more airplanes. And I'm excited to bring that content to you guys. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.